is Nikki.
I'm Lee.
We're going to show you how great big cable bridges are built.
Just like that one.
We'll show you everything from the very beginning.
We'll show you lots of exciting big stuff like cranes, travelers, gantries, saws, and lots of other great big stuff.
You'll see that it takes a lot of work to build a big bridge like this one.
So just how big are cable bridges?
We learned that cable bridges can be all different sizes and shapes.
Sometimes the spans can be very long.
Sometimes over 3 times as long as a football field.
We've learned that cable bridges can be very, very tall.
From the bottom of the bridge to the top of the cables can be almost 2 times the height of a 17-story building. We've learned that cables can be many different lengths, and when put together, they can be very long.
Nikki, can you run the track the length of the cables?
Surely, how many times do we need to go around?
24 times.
24 times? That's a lot. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Now it all starts out with the design of the big cable bridge.
Come on in, we'll show you how the engineers do the design.
Hi, Mr. Figg.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Lee.
Mr. Figg, can you show us how engineers design big cable bridges?
Sure, Lee. I'm going to let 2 of our engineers, Mr. Hartsfield and Mr. McAllister, show you the whole process.
Okay, follow us.
So, just how does an engineer design a big cable bridge?
Well, there are a lot of people involved in this, but most of what we do is on computers.
The computers we use are sophisticated machines. We draw on the computers, and these drawings are used by the contractor to build the bridges.
The contractor needs the size, shape, kind of materials, and strength from us.
So you actually draw with the computer.
Yes, and then we print the drawings on the plotter.
Can we see one of the drawings being printed?
Sure, let's go to the plotter.
Wow, it's printing the picture from the computer.
Yes, the drawing shows our engineering design.
And then the contractor uses the drawings that we developed from the computer
And the written instructions called specifications and builds the bridge.
Now, we're ready to see how a bridge is built.
You're all set, but don't forget your hard hat.
Hard hats are important at a construction site.
There are many different types of cable bridges.
We are going to tell you about a few of the ones that we've learned about.
First, you have to make the bridge pieces.
This is kind of like making a cake. When you make a cake, you use flour, sugar, eggs, and milk.
Then you mix them up and pour them into a mold.
When you make a bridge piece, you use water, sand, rocks, and cement to make concrete.
Then, you put them all into a big truck, and that mixes it up and then pours it into a mold. let's see how the bridge pieces are made at the casting yard.
The mold is made from pieces of steel. Steel bars are put into the mold to make the pieces stronger. The steel bars are tied together to make a cage. The concrete is mixed at the batch plant. Remember, concrete is made from mixing cement with water, rocks, and sand.
This is a special kind of concrete truck that is used in the casting yard. It takes concrete to the mold. The concrete is poured over the bars and into the mold. A special piece of equipment shakes the concrete so that it fills the mold evenly and smoothly. The dried finished pieces, or segments, are taken out of the mold. The big traveler machines pick up the segments and move them to storage until they are needed for the bridge.
The pieces can be very heavy, as much as 75 tons, or up to 220 tons.
That's as much as 10 big elephants, or up to 30 big elephants. Then, at the bridge location, construction takes place.
First thing you do is pound the piles into the sand so you have something to hold the bridge up.
Sometimes you're pounding the piles through water to the bottom. Sometimes you're on land. This is a pile driver. When a new pile is put into place, this powerful machine is used to pound the pilings deep down into the ground. It takes a lot of piles for a cable bridge.
Like 130 piles in just one place.
Then a base, a footing, is built over the top of the piles.
Here is that footing in place under the ground. Footings are made in different sizes. This footing is not as large as the footing we just saw. Oh, they are using a mold again.
Yes, This is another steel mold that they fill with concrete at the site.
The footings are not made at the casting yard?
No, these are made exactly where they're going to be used.
After that, pieces of the bridge are stacked on top of each other to build towers called piers. Segments for the piers are moved on a truck to the bridge site for stacking.
As many as 10 pier segments can be stacked in a day. The top is then smoothed to make it level.
Square pieces of rubber are put on the top of the piers. This is where the top of the bridge sits.
The next important part of the bridge is a very tall tower called a pylon. This is where the cables are placed.
The blinking light warns aircraft that the pylon is very tall. Then, the top part of the bridge, the superstructure, is built.
That's the part the cars drive over.
Sometimes, segments for the bridge come over the water on a flat boat, called a barge.
They are picked up in one great big piece with a huge gantry.
It takes a long time to make a bridge. Let's speed it up so we can see it now. Sometimes, the segments are put on land with big cranes.
Hey, there's another traveler machine. It's used to move the segments around the bridge site.
There are the segments all around the bridge site.
Some segments are picked up one at a time from the top of the bridge with the gantry. Travelers go back and forth on top of the bridge, carrying the segments to the gantry. The gantry picks up the segments and puts them in place.
The gantry also picks up segments from the ground.
So, how do the bridge pieces stay up? Well, the bridge pieces are kind of like these blocks. You put them all next to each other.
Then you thread a rope through them.
This isn't going to work.
Maybe we should pull them tight.
The blocks all squeeze together, like this. In a real cable bridge, you have much stronger pieces, and that means you need much stronger rope. Rope made of steel.
Just like this one. Then you need lots of pieces to put together. The pieces are actually much larger than this. The steel rope is cut the right length with powerful saws.
The steel rope is threaded through the segments. This is what the inside of the bridge looks like during construction. The steel ropes are threaded inside the black pipes.
Then a big machine pulls on the end.
It has to be very, very strong.
The big cable part of the bridge can be built using great big pieces.
Or several pieces can be used, like these two smaller ones with a piece in the middle that looks like a triangle.
Big travelers are used again to carry the segments.
The segments are carefully set down to wait their turn to be put in their place on the bridge.
Oh, those travelers really work hard.
Big cranes pick up the segments and put them in place.
Got this dress bottom bar.
The segments are connected together with big steel bars that screw together.
Glue is mixed up and then spread on the pieces before they are squeezed together.
The triangular piece is called a delta frame. The delta frame is picked up by the crane and placed between the two segments that were just placed.
The top of the delta frame is where the cable goes through. A flat piece of concrete is placed between the delta frame and the two segments.
To build the cables, you need great big pipes. I heard that bicycles are used to build the cables, but not this type of bicycle.
That's right, a special kind of bicycle is used. The special kind used helps support the cable pipes and moves the cable pipes into place.
This is what they call a bicycle.
Once the big pipe is in place, a big cable made of lots of steel rope is picked up and pulled through the pipe.
The cable goes in one end and is pulled all the way across to the other end.
This is what the end of the cable looks like.
And this is what it looks like after it's been put inside the pipe and the cement mixture has been poured around it. After the cable is pulled through the pipe and over the pylon, it's tightened.
The cable is then pulled on each side, and this holds the bridge up. Pull tight.
Burning daylight. Come on, let's go!
A big machine, a ram that is very, very strong, pulls on the cable to tighten it or stress it.
Remember, this is a big cable bridge. It is the cable that holds up this kind of bridge.
After all the cables are built on both sides of the bridge, then one last piece is put in the middle.
Lots of people watch this because it means the bridge is almost complete and ready for traffic.
A concrete barrier rail is added to each edge on the top of the bridge.
Color is put on the cables. Then everyone is happy because lots of hard work is finished.
Let's take a boat and go under a big cable bridge.
Good idea. Hey, there's Captain Eddie. He can take us.
Hi, Nikki and Lee. Welcome aboard the boat.
Can you take us under the bridge?
I sure can. All we have to do is get aboard, put these on, and we'll get underway.
Okay.
It's big.
Quite big. Let's see what it's like to drive across a big cable bridge.
Okay, that's great. Let's go. Don't forget your seatbelt.
That's how it's done, and a big cable bridge is built.
We got to see lots of exciting construction.
There are lots of other types of bridges, and maybe we'll get to see them next time.
See you next time.